Welcome to another AMA. My name is John Belizaire, and I am the CEO of Soluna Holdings. I'll be answering shareholders and potential investors' most asked questions about our finances, projects over the next few slides. And if you'd like to see these answers in written form, please visit solunacomputing.com/blogs. Stick around to learn how to submit your answers at the end of this AMA. And of course, I want to thank everyone in advance for answering or sending those questions in. We're always happy to answer them to the best of our abilities, and we appreciate all of you every day. And the questions we have today, they touch on everything from AI to the halving to some of our sites, etc. And we do our best to answer some of those. Thank you. Before we begin, I'd like to start with some legal preamble. The following content is completely qualified by the legal disclosures on the slide following this one. Our goal is to share with you some of our strategic thinking and financial analysis that we are using to guide the growth of our business. The content is in line with our principles of being accountable and transparent with our shareholders. And of course, we operate in a hyper-dynamic economic environment, and that's a fancy way of saying things change quickly. What we're telling you here is based on our estimates and assumptions, which are our best guess, and we reserve the right to revise our point of view based on new information and changes in the business environment. Despite an uncertain dynamic environment, we must plan and make operating and investment decisions, and this presentation lays out some of that for you. So please quickly take a look at the disclaimers that follow. Our first question comes from Terry. Terry asks, will the new AI agreement at Project Sophie be revenue neutral for Soluna? And congratulations on the move. Well, thank you, Terry, for the question, and thanks for the congrats. We are excited to begin the development of our first AI hosting contract. It's with a startup, and what's exciting about this space is you have companies that are entering the space well-funded that didn't exist 2 years ago. And that means that it's an incredible innovative opportunity for us and an incredible market that's growing very fast. We're certainly launching a lot of AI-related activities at our company, and it's really going to drive our next phase of growth. But the questions you ask here are a bit forward-facing. The best I can say is that it's reasonable to assume that these contracts will be more lucrative than Bitcoin hosting on a per megawatt basis. And as we publish financials, you'll start to see the effect of those contracts in our financials, and as we grow that particular business, you'll begin to see those as well. Thank you. This question is from Terrence. Terrence wants to know, when does the company project that Springlane Capital will achieve its 18% hurdle rate on Dorothy 1A, allowing for increased revenue to Soluna? Again, this is a forward-looking statement or question, and we don't usually give that kind of guidance. But we're continuously reviewing and improving our operational efficiency at D1A or Dorothy 1A, and we're really accelerating the growth and expansion there. And so we're feeling pretty comfortable about clearing that hurdle and achieving a higher revenue share on that site. The business model does work, and so we do have line of sight into that coming forward. So I'd say so far we are on track to do so. Thanks, Terrence. Brad asks, I'm a big investor in your company, and I'm very concerned with the way the company dilutes shareholders. Your stock is not even moving up with Bitcoin price because investors don't believe in the company. Please update that the company will stop the dilution. Well, Brad, the stock has been growing over time, and we've had increases over some period. But I get your point. Look, the current capital structure, which was an important source of funding for the company during a challenging period, is not really designed to support our next growth phase, and there is a short-term cost to restructuring our capital stack to position the company to pursue those next growth phases and, of course, increase shareholder value. So we're really executing that restructuring in the most effective manner available to the company right now, given the constraints associated with that existing structure. I can go on and on, but I try to use all the tools available to me to raise capital and restructure the cap table so that we can better position it for growth over time. Thank you. Peter asks, any insight on how much the expected halving of Bitcoin later this year will likely affect Soluna? Will customers likely be mining less and using less energy? How much is revenue affected by Bitcoin prices? In the June 2023 presentation, they list 26,500 as the price assumption. What does revenue look like at 20, 30, 40,000? Any idea how much of a profit sharing exists on the new 8.8 hosting contract? And any information as to why this is just a one-year contract? Well, there's a lot in this one. Starting with the halving, look, there's a lot of differing opinions on what's going to happen on the halving, and those vary pretty significantly, especially now. People view that this halving can be a bit different from the past thus far, and look, we have higher interest rates. We have not seen in the past having several Bitcoin ETFs driving demand for the digital commodity, large inflows from institutional investors, and Bitcoin, as of this AMA, has already hit its all-time highs. So this is something that normally happens after the halving. And so to really assess what's going to happen, it's going to be challenging. And so what we do is we will tend to run different scenarios, upside, downside, base case, and we use those to drive the focus for our business. The one-year contract question is becoming standard in the industry, mostly for the same reason. Folks may come in with a certain level of efficiency of their machines, and we want to see what happens after a year if there are any higher efficiency machines, customers looking to land them. So we really like to leave ourselves the opportunity to keep the terms shorter so we can encourage customers to either upgrade their equipment or allow us to place customers in our sites that have higher efficiency miners to deploy. So we look at that on a case-by-case basis. Some bigger contracts we do longer, but in those contracts we have the ability to get the customer to raise or put more efficient machines in the building. Thanks for your question. Thank you again for submitting your questions. If you're reading this and haven't had a chance to ask your question, it's not too late. And if you're listening to this presentation and you haven't had a chance to ask your question, it's not too late. Please fill out the form in the video description box in the notes below and drop your questions on X, formerly Twitter. We're at Soluna Holdings. If you have questions answered in our AMA installment, we try to do them every month. And if your question wasn't answered here, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. It's also linked in the notes, and we're providing business insights and answering questions there as well, and we do that fairly regularly. And thank everybody for your patience and support of Soluna going forward. Until next time.